How's it going, everybody? Tommy Star here. Thank you for clicking on this video, and boy do I have a fun, cool video in store for you guys today. Probably my most anticipated video I've ever put together. So going back to the beginning of the year, I posted a top 10 video talking about my most anticipated films of 2017. And at the time, I wasn't really planning on doing something like this, but after thinking about it, I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So I went ahead and I did it, and it was a blast. Basically what you're going to see in this video is me going to see each movie as they come out throughout the year at the movie theater. And at the beginning of each movie, I'm going to show the date that I seen the movie, which wasn't always necessarily on the release day. Sometimes it might have been the day before. How they do that might be a couple days after. But I do show the date that I actually seen the movie, and then I show the number in which it places in my top 10 list. So it's going to be me going into the movie, seeing the movie, and then giving a review of that movie afterwards. And so obviously, heads up, this video will contain tons of spoilers, and a lot of the movies, from the beginning of the year, I'm sure you guys have all seen, so spoilers probably won't really matter. But towards the end of the year, some of the more recent movies that have come out that might not even be out on video yet, you guys, I'm sure, may not want to know any spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet. So with that being said, I will go ahead and put timestamps to each review in the description box, along with the actual top 10 video from the beginning of the year if you guys want to watch that first as well. So, it was a blast putting this together, you guys. It was so much fun, and it's hard to believe that 2017 has almost come to an end, and it's already time to post this video. So, I worked really hard on it. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it's probably my biggest review video I've ever done. I don't really do review videos because I don't really think I'm that good at them. But I thought it would work very well giving a review of the movie immediately after seeing it. So I give the review the best I can. It's more or less just talking about how much I either like the movie or maybe dislike things about it. But it was such a great 2017. We had a lot of, really great movies that came out. There were a few other movies that I seen that weren't in this top 10 list. I think the first one I saw of the year was Lego Batman. I saw that with my son, which I believe was probably his most anticipated film of the year. And then there were a few others in there, but the ones that I put in this video, like I said, are my top 10. So, with that being said, you guys, I really hope you enjoy the video. Without further ado, here's my 2017 movie theater experience of my top 10 most anticipated films. So we are now going to travel back in time to March 14th, when I seen my very first movie. Let's go.
All right, here we are at Andover Cinema, seeing the first of my top 10 movies for the year. Well, there it is, the movie we're going to see. You excited?
Oh, very excited.
All right, I'm so excited to see this. Let's get in there, check it out.
Yay!
Logan. All right. The 10th film in the X-Men universe, Logan. Wow. What can I say about this movie? It was fucking amazing. Yes. Geez, it was really I don't know, it was a pretty shocking movie. A lot of stuff happened that would really shock the hell out of me. It was other than Deadpool, it was the first R-rated X-Men movie, and boy, did they take advantage of it. You know what I mean? I mean, it was so brutal, and so gory, and it was just insane. And to hear Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, fuck this and fuck that and fuck this and fuck that, and Professor X, fuck this and fuck that and fuck this and fuck that. It was just so funny.
Definitely interesting to see them in kind of a different life aspect than we're used to seeing them.
Yeah, I mean, it was this movie had a whole different tone to it.
A lot darker.
Yeah, a lot darker of a film. One thing I liked about it in regards to previous X-Men films, they did have quite a few references to the other films, even though it's so hard to like figure out where these X-Men movies place with each other.
I was gonna say it was
chronologically.
It was kind of like cryptic in a way. Like it was like if you haven't seen any of the other movies, then you're not gonna know exactly what they're referencing. So
I think it had an amazing score / soundtrack. Like the music in the movie, I mean, other like great songs for the soundtrack, but the score of the movie was just like the dramatic scenes. Oh my god, like that was an amazing score. That was just like, especially like yeah, towards the really like, you know, the emotional parts of the film. But yeah, I mean, action-packed movie, lots of craziness going on. The fight scenes with Wolverine was like by far the best out of any X-Men movie I've ever seen.
And they kicked it right away. Like, oh yeah, like first thing in the game.
Very first scene.
Like, yeah.
Like the very first scene, blood, gore, violence, beyond anything you can imagine in an X-Men movie.
It's pretty good.
I think the story was written so perfectly. The screenplay was amazing in this movie. It was just written so well and acted so well. I think out of any X-Men movie, I would say that this movie has by far the best acting in it. Like hands down, compared to any X-Men movie. I mean, it was just amazing. Like, I don't know. Like, did you feel like
everybody in this movie was hardcore into it, really deep into it? It's
like
cool.
You really felt, you know, like the emotion from the characters. It was just insane.
I cried a few times, not gonna lie.
It was pretty, I don't know, it was excellent by far. In my opinion, compared to the other X-Men movies, God, I would almost say that this was my favorite X-Men movie I've ever seen.
Ooh.
Seriously, I mean, compared to all the other X-Men movies.
I need to see them again in sequence. Once this comes out on Blu-ray, I'm gonna have a X-Men-thon, and then I'll tell you if it's my favorite. But it's up there. It's definitely up there.
This movie, you guys, was just fantastic, excellent. 9 out of 10.
Why only 9? What makes you take that 1 point away?
Well, I mean, it was almost as perfect as it could be. But I don't know. I guess there was some things that I wanted out of it.
Like more explanation, maybe?
Yeah, more explanation.
Like where are the other X-Men?
As far as like the whole plot of the movie and like the hidden stuff in it, I just wish it explained it more. And
but
I don't know.
That's what the next one is going to be for.
Anyways, fantastic movie. What would you rate it?
Honestly, a 10. I haven't seen too many movies in the theater lately, but that one was action-packed, which I loved, and it had a good music score. It had a lot of emotion, like I said, ups and downs, and it's like you leave the theater just feeling like your mind's been blown. So yes. It was awesome. Very awesome. Definitely need to see it if you haven't yet.
All right. Well, first movie down.
Yay!
In my top 10 list for 2017, Logan. Catch you next time. All right, here we are back at Andover Cinema to see our second movie of 2017. All right, here we are. You ready to go see Power Rangers? All right, it's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. Let's get in there. All right, we're in the theater, ready to watch it. You ready to do it? You ready? You excited? Go Power Rangers. All right, so me and my son just got out of seeing Power Rangers, the brand new Power Rangers film. Oh, what can I say? I thought it was really fun. It was a lot of fun. It, really took me back to my childhood, because it was, it was old school Power Rangers. I mean, it even had the original name lineup, going back to the very first time we ever seen the Power Rangers, the original 5, Jason, Kimberly, and Billy. And then there was also Trini and Zach. Thing too, there's no Lord Zed. I was hoping that maybe at the end of the film that we would see Lord Zed come in. But it was just Rita. We had the Putties. and we even had Goldar. So it was if you just at an overall lineup of original characters, I thought that was pretty awesome. Just bringing back all the original characters. However, I didn't see no Bulk or Skull. I was hoping that we would see Bulk and Skull in there. You know, those two idiots from the TV show. But overall, I think it was a pretty cool story. I think some of it stuck to the original origin of the Power Rangers, and then some strayed a little bit away from it. You know, there was some stuff that was the same, and there was some stuff that was different. I think one of the best elements that I thought about it was how they gave a little bit of origin to Zordon, how he was the original Red Ranger. That was pretty cool. It started out that way. And also we got something new. Rita was a Power Ranger herself before she turned to evil. So that, I mean, I think throwing in some new aspects like that, I think worked well. I thought that was kind of cool. I think one thing that kind of bugged me was it really took a long time for them to actually become Power Rangers. I mean, they got their powers pretty quick, pretty early on in the film, but then it took, like, I mean, I don't think we seen them actually turn into the Power Rangers until maybe 80%, 75-80% through the movie. So that, I guess that was a little letdown. I thought we'd see more of that because the suits, you guys, I loved. I thought the suits were badass. You could tell part of the suits, obviously, was, you know, some CGI and stuff. But otherwise, I think they were badass. So I was happy about that for sure, and I wish we could have seen more of it. Otherwise, I think the overall CGI in the film wasn't the greatest. I thought that could have been a little bit better. But Power Rangers were definitely the last thing I got into as a kid. It was pretty short-lived for me because I think I was about 12-ish, 13-ish when I really got into Power Rangers really big. You know, I went crazy for the toys, got all the toys, and then I think I grew out of it really quick. I mean, because that was kind of my going into teen years, and it was, like I said, I mean, it was my last big thing I was into. But to go back and experience, you know, the original roots of the Power Rangers, I think it was just really cool. A great young cast. I think overall the acting was pretty decent. Kimberly, or Elizabeth Banks, I thought, did a pretty cool job at Rita. And you can definitely tell that they set it up where they're, you know, they can definitely make some sequels and keep the story going. There is a mid post-credit scene, whatever you want to call it, of something to do with Tommy Oliver. So that was kind of cool. And not to mention our awesome cameos we got of Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank, you know, bringing out their cell phones and taking pictures of the Megazord. Speaking of which, that's another thing I wanted to touch on was the Megazord. I mean, like I said, the CGI could have been better for that, but I think when they all came together to create the Megazord, I think it was a pretty badass moment in the film. So, but yeah, I mean, I like I said, I had a lot of fun. Zordon was cool. Alpha 5 was cool. I like who they brought in. You know, they got Bill Hader to you know, talk the voice of Alpha 5. I thought that was cool. Zordon was cool. They made him out to be a little bit not as nice as he was in the original, not as so much of a father figure to the Rangers. In this one, he's a little bit different. You know, a little bit, had some anger to him. I think overall the film didn't have as much of a dark tone as I thought it would, so it's definitely kid appropriate. But yeah, I mean, I just had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see more Power Rangers movies. I think they definitely set it up well to definitely keep the story going. So anyways, there's my my review of the movie. I had a great time. I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10 as a score. I had a lot of fun. I think there's just some things that I wanted. I don't like how they took so long, you know, to get the Rangers going. So I actually turned it into the Rangers. But yeah, I think a good 7 out of 10. So, all right, there you go. There's my review of Power Rangers, the brand new remake. We'll catch you guys next time.
Okay, we are back at the Andover Cinema again for our third film of 2017.
My mom and then Jake and Armin.
Yep, they're all coming. We are here. And what are we seeing? Bam. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Are you ready for this, buddy?
Yes.
Mr. Fidget Spinner, you ready? Yeah. Let's do it, because I am Groot. You ready? You ready to watch it? Let's do this.
All right, everybody. We just finished watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Holy cow. I'm just blown away. That movie was just absolutely amazing. I can't find the right words. It is the 15th installment, I believe, in the MCU. Once again, the music and the soundtrack used in this movie is just good old-fashioned Guardians of the Galaxy. All the characters had, I would say they had a perfect equal amount of on-screen time. Just awesome humor in the Guardians of the Galaxy like usual. It was just mind-blowing. We found out a lot of things in this movie. Stallone's in the movie, which I hear we're going to start seeing more of his character. There was, I know you guys are seeing this, months and months after this movie has already come out, but there was, the end scene was pretty sad. I mean, I have to admit, it kind of brought me to tears. It was a pretty sad moment. Some things happened here in this movie that were really unexpected. The special effects were absolutely amazing. Baby Groot was just so cool. And there was just tons of post-credit scenes. There's I think 4 or 5 of them. I was hoping the post-credit scenes would be a little bit, I don't know if you want to say better, but I was hoping for more out of the post-credit scenes, like more attachment to the overall MCU, overall universe. But overall, it was just a kick-ass movie. Just every time I see a new MCU movie, I get more and more excited for, just the ultimate climax with, Infinity War and all this stuff. But yes, I would probably. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
You miss out on a great movie.
I'm gonna see it on Tuesday.
I would say rating this movie from a 1 to a 10.
Shut up.
Yeah, I would have to give it a 9.5.
Shut up.
10, 9.5, 10, really close, you guys. I got everything I wanted to get out of this movie. I also like that we got to see a little bit of origin on Quill's parents, a little bit. They had you got yourself a nice romantic scene in it. Just action, just some heartwarming parts. I mean, this movie had everything in it. It's just you find out things about a Star-Lord, Peter Quill, that you didn't know. It was great, guys. I mean, this movie was a strong 9.5, 10. It's like I almost just want to say a 10. I can't really think of anything that would keep me from rating it a 10. So the official 10 out of 10. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We'll see you guys at the next movie.
All right, well, here we are again, back at the Andover Cinema to go and see our 4th movie of the year.
All right, everybody, here we are inside, and we're about to go see, bam, Cars 3. This has been a favorite movie of my son since he was a little kid. Are you ready? All right, let's get in there. You ready for Cars 3? You excited? Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Well, just got out of the movie now, and yeah, It was a pretty damn good movie. It was kind of, I mean, it was definitely a lot different from the last one, because everybody knows the last one was the spy one, focused a lot on Mater and stuff. But this one definitely brought us back to the roots of Cars 1, and had like a lot of backstory. We found a little bit more about the Hudson Hornet, and I thought it was a very warm heart, very heartwarming film. It had a really good story to it, really good, just a really interesting concept. There's a couple things that went in different directions than I thought it would, especially the end of the movie. But I still really liked it a lot. It's definitely a great comeback type movie. Great new characters. I like how everybody was brought back for the movie. I just had a lot of fun. It was just a very good movie. It was, I think Cars 1 came out right around the time my son was born. And from when he was very little up until he was like, I don't know, maybe 5, he was really into cars. Like, he collected all the cars and had a Cars bed. He's not so much anymore, but he loved it growing up. And it's just, it's just cool to kind of go back, and revisit Cars today, and get a great, film to kind of culminate the trilogy, but I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I would say that it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but it was still a pretty darn good movie. I would say I would rate this movie probably 7 out of 10.
No, I didn't like it.
It was a lot of fun.
I didn't like the end of it.
And I think it'll be definitely fun to watch all 3 of them together when this movie comes out on Blu-ray, which I'm sure by now it already has, now that you guys are watching this. But what did you think about the end?
I didn't like it.
No, he didn't really like the ending. We will see you at the next movie.
All right, we're back at Andover Cinema for our 5th movie of the year. So this means after today we'll be halfway through. That's cool.
So this is my #1 film for 2017, and I'm so pumped. You excited for this movie? Let's go do it. All right, here we are in the theater. You ready? Ready to do this? I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see it.
All right, everybody, how's it going? So we're back home now. I was gonna do the review in the car, but we just came home and figured I'd do it here. But so, Spider-Man: Homecoming. This was my #1 most anticipated film of 2017. It is the 16th installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 4th film of Phase 3. And then, of course, the very first Spider-Man film in this franchise. And, wow. In reviewing the trailer for the movie, I think that's what really got me excited about this movie, because it was pretty much everything I wanted it to be. I think that don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, and I even really like the Amazing Spider-Mans. But I think what they did right in this brand new Spider-Man is they had a really good story, for starters. I just think that they did it right this time. They kept him young. He's only like 15 in this movie. And he acts like a kid. Like most of the time when you see Spider-Man in these other movies, he's more adult, more serious. And in this movie, even as Spider-Man, he acts like his age. And the movie had great humor. I just think the whole element of having Spider-Man in the MCU with Iron Man as the mentor just works so well. I like how they didn't give us a big origin story, since we all know, been there, done that, with the whole Uncle Ben dying. You know, Uncle Ben's not in the picture, so obviously that had already happened. We didn't see him get bit by the spider and become the Spider-Man. You know, I like that. Maybe down the road in the, you know, the second Spider-Man Homecoming, which they already, you know, have that in progress for the sequel, which I'm not sure if it's going to be next year or the year after, but they, you know, maybe in the sequel we'll get a little bit of origin, who knows, but they didn't do it in this one. I really like just overall what they did. I think Michael Keaton was just fantastic as the Vulture. I think he was an awesome villain. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's probably one of the best Batmans ever, but he did an amazing job as a villain in this movie. He was probably one of my favorite Spider-Man villains of any Spider-Man movie I've ever seen, if not the best. But just so many things about this movie were just done so well. Like, it just felt so right. I love the suit. You know, I love how, you know, how he lost the suit when Tony took it away, and then he kind of had to do it on his own with his homemade suit. Everything about this movie was great. It was just fantastic. Everything I hoped it would be. And one of the best in the MCU, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with Spider-Man in the future MCUs. So, yeah, just excellent movie. Shot so good. The special effects and the action scenes are just off the hook in this movie. It was just phenomenal. I wasn't disappointed in any way. I'm going to probably say this movie is a 10 out of 10. Yes, for sure. It's everything I want. I can't think of anything I disliked about it. It was just perfect in every way. So there you go. There's my review for Spider-Man Homecoming. We'll see you at the next movie.
Okay, here we are back at the Andover Cinema yet again to see my number 5 pick for 2017. It has been almost 2 months since Spider-Man, since the last movie. Let's get in there. All right, there's the movie. And oh my God, I've been waiting forever to see this. I'm so pumped. Time to get in there and get the shit scared out of us. All right, here we go.
No.
They all float down here. This movie's gonna be freaky. Here we go. All right, we don't have the greatest lighting, but anyway, just got out of seeing it. Okay, well, where do I start? Okay, real quick. I thought the movie was just creepy as fuck. Pennywise is one scary motherfucker in this movie, that's all I can say. I mean, compared to Tim Curry's Pennywise, I think much, much creepier.
I don't know if you can compare them. They're like completely different clowns.
Yeah, you know,
Like they both
this is the first time it actually was made into a movie, released theatrically, you know, because the other one, you know, from 1990 wasn't even a movie. It was just a made-for-TV miniseries, which was the whole thing, you know, the first half and the second half, them as kids and them as adults. This one, obviously, is just them as kids. It's part, you know, chapter 1, and then we're going to get chapter 2, which will be them as adults coming back. I think I like the kids a lot better in this one. They're more like likable, and they have better character development, I think, in this one. You know, they all have a lot of you know, they all have a lot of on-screen time together. I mean, there was, you know, some of it, you know, was like the first movie or the miniseries, and then a lot of it, I've never read the book. I feel like an idiot just saying this, but from what I read, it's much, much closer to the book.
especially like the end fight scene with Pennywise. Was a lot. I mean, that's probably my favorite thing about the movie, because in the other one, the miniseries, I mean, it's like nothing. You know, it's like they don't even do anything. You know, they just hit him with the stone in the head, and that's pretty much it. I mean, this thing, I mean, we get an all-out fucking battle.
Why do I remember? I wish I had watched the movie with you today, but why do I remember there being a lot more light? Like something about light in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, the whole deadlights thing, you only get one little quick glimpse in this one. I'm sure we're probably going to see more of it in the next chapter. But I love the cast. I think the cast was awesome in this movie. All the kids did a great job. They all excellent little actors. I'll give them that. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, kick-ass job. I love the voice. I love the new look of Pennywise. I think I'll never like it as much as the original Pennywise I'm used to, but I love the new look.
That's where I'm coming in, where it's like they're two different clowns. Like almost everything is completely different.
Well, like I was saying, this was supposed to be more like the book. Even Stephen King said that.
Right.
So the difference between the two is the miniseries was on TV, so there's a lot of shit they couldn't do. You know,
really thankful they left that
to copy the book. It was for TV, so there's not really much they had to work with. And this is a straight up R-rated theatrical release movie, so they just went like crazy in this one. You know, they just, there's a lot, you know, the kids swearing and, you know, really gory, like, you know.
The adult humor was great.
Yeah, the humor from the kids was really good. I love the characters. I love the cast. I thought it was done excellent.
The only thing I didn't like was that I feel like it was hyped up to be a lot more scary, and it wasn't.
Okay, my opinion on that, I agree. Like, I really anticipated this being a freaky ass movie, so I went into it with like really high expectations.
Yeah, I think my
thinking it was gonna be freaky as fuck.
Too high.
And I think it was. Don't get me wrong, it was scary as shit. But I think I was imagining it to be so damn scary.
I thought there was gonna be a lot more jump scares, and I thought there was gonna be.
I think the scares were done very well. I mean, I won't lie. There's a couple scenes that got me, but you know, this was just the beginning. Let's just say that.
I know it was done right, but I was expecting more of the drag me to hell style of like jumping out at you. You know. Like,
I thought it was pretty freaky. I don't know. I just
that one scene where he comes out of the like wall with the projection. That was pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of really creepy ass scenes in it. And I think another thing I like a lot is you really see a lot of Pennywise. I didn't think you would, but you see a ton of Pennywise in this movie. He has a lot of talking in the movie, and it's a lot more than I think in the other movie.
I like the fact that Pennywise is a lot more demonic in this one. Like
Man,
there's a lot of the
creepy as
creepy, like shifty moves, and
he's definitely more like supernatural. Like in the other one, he just seemed more like a regular
creepy
dude.
murderer killer dude.
Yeah, in this one he's definitely more supernatural. But anyway, that's a long enough review. I think overall I absolutely love the movie. I am so excited for chapter 2. I cannot wait. I kind of hate that we have to wait so long to see it, but
how long is it?
Probably a year or two. But overall, I mean, I would say if I rate this 1 to 10, I would definitely give this movie probably a 9 out of 10. That's much I loved it.
As much as I was disappointed that I wasn't scared as much as I thought I was going to be, I still say they did it right.
Oh, I think they definitely did it right. I got to read the book. 9 out of 10. I loved it. I think what would have made it a 10 out of 10 if it was as creepy as I anticipated. But again, I think I over-anticipated the movie. Awesome movie. What do you give it?
9 out of 10.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the next movie. All right, I am back to see my 7th movie for the year. Today we are at the Woodbury Pit Theater, which is the first time I've gone to a different theater for this video. I'm going to meet my brother out where he lives. So, let's go do it. All right, we're about to go check out this movie. What is it? Ooh. Yeah, buddy. Jigsaw. 8th Saw film. Where the hell are you going? Let's do it. All right, you can't see us, but here we go. About to watch Jigsaw.
Well, we are home now from seeing Jigsaw. And oh my God, what a kick-ass movie.
It was phenomenal. Oh my God.
So basically, my first outlook of this movie, I wasn't pleased with the trailer. Like, I was really excited about the fact that we were getting a new Saw movie. But then when they finally revealed the trailer, to me it just looked like a regular old Saw movie. There was nothing that stood out in the trailer, and I was kind of upset about that. I was hoping for something different and cool, but I gotta say the trailer does not do the movie justice. The movie was shockingly good. You know, I was thinking, they made 7 Saw movies.
What else can they do?
Now it's 7 years later. They're making an 8th movie. What could they possibly do? What kind of traps could they do? What could they do to
oh my God.
shock us? What could they do to that they haven't already done?
That last one.
And oh my God. Okay, for one thing, there is a trap or a kill or whatever you want to call it that takes place in this movie that blew my fucking mind. It's by far the craziest, most mind-blowing trap kill in any Saw movie I've ever seen.
It's so intense that it's like an art form. It's
pretty
insane.
Much. I was really surprised with all the way through the movie, with the way it was going, the way it was written, the story, just everything that was happening. I was so pleased and surprised. I think I just went into it with really low expectations, and I just got surprised. I was just oh my God, this is really good. I'm really enjoying myself watching this movie.
I really liked it, but I'm still slightly annoyed.
Of what?
By who it is.
Well, okay. As the movie was going along, I was kind of making my own assumptions and predictions on how it was going to happen. And I'm like, oh, I bet you this is going to happen. I bet you this is going to happen. That's the only problem I have with this movie, is that it didn't exactly end the way I was thinking it would end and the way I was hoping it would end. I was a little disappointed with the ending. It didn't ruin the movie for me or anything, but I was the big reveal at the end, I was a little disappointed. I was just kind of no, you should have done something different. And another thing that really upset me is Dr. Gordon wasn't in this. I mean, when I found out that Dr. Gordon was coming back for Part 7, finally, I was so happy, and that's what I loved about Part 7. And I was really hoping we would see Dr. Gordon in this movie, and we didn't. And it was so upsetting. I really wanted to see what they were going to do next with him.
Home Slice just wouldn't come to it?
Well, I mean, there were so many issues trying to get him back for all the sequels throughout 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with his agent and money and different shit like that. And then finally they got shit figured out and were able to put him in Part 7. But anyway, I was a little disappointed with the ending. I was hoping Dr. Gordon would be in the movie. But overall, I really like it, and I hope that it does lead to more movies just to get some more answers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love seeing... It was exciting to finally see Saw again on Halloween. I went with my brother, Dave. I had seen every Saw with him. All the other ones, every Halloween, we always looked forward to it, and we went and seen it together, so we had to go see this one together. And I'm totally fine with continuing to see more Saw every Halloween. Totally. If it turns into just stupid movies, then it's just more or less just for the entertainment and the different kills and what they're going to come up with next. But if they continue to make more and they start answering more questions and start filling in more of the gaps and bringing in elements that I want to continue this series, then I'll be happy. But either way, it was a fantastic movie. I was very pleasantly surprised with this movie. Like I said, I was going into it with low expectations, but I got what I wanted. It delivered, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Overall, I would say I would give this movie a 7 out of 10.
7?
I think it definitely would have, if it would have ended the way I was thinking it would have ended, it probably would have got more 9 out of 10. But just between the fact that Dr. Gordon wasn't in it and that it didn't really end, I was a little disappointed with the ending.
Okay, I can see that.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. What do you think?
I'm so tired. I'd say an 8.
We went to an early movie. How are you tired? We went to like the 7 o'clock one.
I worked all day.
8 out of 10?
Yes, because the kill at the end was so impressive.
Yeah, yeah, that's the other thing too. I think the kill definitely bumped it up to a 7. It probably would have been more of a 6. That kill. You know what? No, I take it back. That kill was so fucking cool. It's up to an 8. 8 out of 10. Jigsaw. And yeah, when I first talked about this in my top 10 video, when I talked about all these, my top 10 most anticipated films of 2017, it was actually called Saw Legacy. That was, I guess, the working title. She just bit my arm, my shoulder. But anyways, it was called Saw Legacy, and they turned it into the actual title of Jigsaw, which I think is a lot better. Mm-hmm. But there you go. 8 out of 10, Jigsaw. We have 3 films left. We actually have next weekend. Is Thor. Next weekend is Thor Ragnarok. I cannot wait to see that movie.
I'm so excited for that one.
And then we got 2 more after that. So I guess you guys will have to wait and find out what they are. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at Thor Ragnarok. Bam. All right, we're back at the Andover Cinema for movie number 8. 2 more to go after this. Let's get in there. See number 17 in the MCU. Okay, here we are. What movie are we seeing today? There it is. Thor Ragnarok. This movie's gonna kick ass. Are you ready? Yeah, let's do it.
Stop recording me. I'm cold.
I am the almighty god of thunder. All right, we're in the theater right now. You ready, buddy? All right, we're about to watch Thor Ragnarok. Let's do it. All right, so just got back from seeing Thor Ragnarok. Badass movie. MCU never fails to deliver. Oh my god, man. So this is the 17th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The 3rd Thor film. And this is number 5 in the Phase 3. This movie was a lot of fun. Right off the bat, it definitely was a different type of Thor movie than we've seen before with the first one and The Dark World. And I really like the fact that we got to see Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner. You know, he had a lot of on-screen time. A lot more than I thought he would, which was cool because, you know, we don't get to see a lot of Incredible Hulk. You know, he was in the Avengers films. He had his first standalone film, which was the 2nd in the MCU, which was the one Edward Norton played him, which was a cool movie. But ever since they introduced Mark Ruffalo taking over the role, the character's really changed a lot. And I wish at this point they would make another standalone Incredible Hulk Part 2 film. Because it would just be fun to see. You know, there's a lot of different storylines of the Hulk from the comics that I've heard about that they could definitely do, like, you know, Planet Hulk and things like that. But I really like that he was in this movie a lot because we don't get to see him a lot in this universe. This movie had a lot of great humor. It was just funny. Just, you know, between Thor and Incredible Hulk back and forth. Just a lot of funny moments in this movie. I thought when we first seen Incredible Hulk, get introduced into this storyline, it was kind of weird. I mean, like, until later on in the movie, well, I wouldn't even say later on in the movie. I mean, I think just overall the character of Hulk was kind of weird. Like, he talked a lot in this movie, and he just kind of acted stupid. I mean, that was like one of the only things I can think about overall of this movie that I wasn't really happy with. He just kind of acted kind of funny, like really different than what we've seen in the past from the Incredible Hulk. So I don't know if it's just because of the life he's now living at this place, where he's the big champion of these battles that takes place on this planet, and maybe he's just kind of living life now, not worrying about what his life was like on Earth, and he's just kind of enjoying himself. Maybe that's where the character
this weird new version of Hulk comes into play. Could be, but I love the music. We get to hear, Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song, like once at the beginning, once at the end. I just think once that song is playing, it just fits the movie so well, and it's just badass. I don't like that Thor got his hair cut. I don't know, maybe that's just me, because I just like the original look of Thor. I don't really know why they did that, if that's part of the comics or something. And I thought that was kind of weird. I mean, it's not horrible that they cut his hair or anything, but I don't know. Maybe in a way it's something good just to give it a new take or whatever. Thor, a new look or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, just a really cool story. Hela, it's cool. We find out that Hela is his sister. That's kind of weird. I didn't know that. And she's one bad, evil bitch. That's all I can say. Yeah, it's just, it was a really fun movie. I thought it was done very, very well. I love Loki in this movie. Again, we don't really know what to think about Loki. Is he good? Is he bad? In this one, he's kind of a little bit more on the good side now, I think, but who knows with him. But I really liked Loki in this movie. It was, he was such a great character in the overall MCU. We had a cool little cameo from Black Widow. I like, of course, we had an awesome cameo from Doctor Strange at the beginning. That was badass to see Doctor Strange kind of meet up with one of his first Avengers, which was badass. Doctor Strange is such a badass. But probably definitely by far my favorite Thor film out of all three of them. And I would definitely say, I would have to give this movie probably, I would say probably 8 out of 10. I mean, I really liked it a lot. It's just that, the Incredible Hulk's character was just kind of different, kind of weird for me. And I was hoping, we would get a little bit more tie-in to where the MCU is, like the direction they're headed. And I thought we would see some kind of glimpse of Thanos. There is, of course, two end credit scenes, after, at the very end, there's, we get to see Jeff Goldblum. Speaking of which, Jeff Goldblum is in this movie as the Grand Master. I liked his character. He was kind of cool. Kind of a funny, different type of character for him. There's the end credit scenes of him, which was kind of funny. But then there's the post-credit scene, whatever you want to call it, before it actually came to the rolling credits, where I think is something to do with Thanos. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn it was something to do with that, where the spaceship shows up. Just a couple things that I was hoping it would just tie in a little bit better at the end there, but still, awesome soundtrack, cool special effects, and just love that Incredible Hulk was in it. So, yeah, 8 out of 10. So, I had a blast. And last MCU film for 2017, we got 3 this year, which was awesome. Guardians 2, Spider-Man, and Thor 3. That'll take us to Black Panther in February of next year. And then, of course, Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, which I believe is May or June next year. And I cannot wait. But there we go. On to the next movie.
Oakley dokley. Back at the Andover Cinema yet again to see movie number 9 for the year. We are so close to the end. We have one more to go after this. Let's get in there. It's so fucking cold. All right, here we go.
I'm too
What
short.
are we seeing? Bam. That's right. Hasn't been getting that good a review so far, but fingers crossed. Let's go do it. Okay, here we are, ready to see Justice League. Are you ready? Let's get a fucking rock.
We're out of the theater now. Just got done seeing Justice League. And my mind is just spinning right now, trying to think of how I'm going to explain this.
Dude, you guys, I'm sick, and I started falling asleep a little bit, not because the movie was bad, but he kept shaking his hand, and I thought he was trying to wake me up, but no, he was like, I'm just this excited. It was fantastic.
I'll be the first to say, up until this point, the DC universe, the negative thing I can say about it is, up until this point, it has just felt rushed. Like they're trying to catch up to the MCU. And for some reason, I really don't understand, though, like why the DC universe does so bad. Like, why it's doing so bad so far. This is film number 5, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, now Justice League. It's not doing well in the theater. Wonder Woman has done the best so far, but for some reason,
she's amazing.
The DC universe is not doing well. I don't know why, okay? Maybe you guys completely disagree with me, but I fucking love the DC universe. This movie, I'm going to tell you right now, it started out, the first couple minutes felt like awkward to me. I don't know, it was like a weird beginning, like just the directing of the movie and the like cinematography and everything just felt weird at the beginning with how they were filming it and what they were doing. It was just kind of weird. And then it just like transformed into one of the most amazing superhero movies I've ever seen in my life. And I swear to God, you guys, and I paid close attention to everything that was going on in this movie. They had, you know, like what a lot of people are mad about the DC universe is that they're not giving us a lot of like origin movies. You know, they did it with Man of Steel, obviously the first one, and they did it with Wonder Woman, kind of. But
Aquaman gets one, doesn't he?
People are mad that they're not giving origin stories to kind of, you know, set up character development and things like that. In 2 hours, this was actually a short superhero movie. In the 2 hours that this movie was, like, I think they had amazing character development on everybody. They touched on everybody.
They do.
They're going to be doing character development movies. Like, they're going to have, like, an Aquaman movie, a Cyborg movie, I think a Flash movie.
But even with that, like, I know nothing about Cyborg, and I got to see, like, a little bit of how he came to be.
They crammed character development into this already crammed movie with all these heroes that have to come together as a Justice League so quickly without, like, without origin movies. And
But it was legit.
they did it right. They gave us quick little origins on everybody. They touched on everybody individually before they came together. We got a fucking little Green Lantern cameo in this movie. It was just fucking great.
I'm very excited for Aquaman, because what they say about Aquaman, like the little tidbit you get from him.
Aquaman is a fucking badass. He's fucking so cool. I just love the scene where he's like walking down, he's drinking that bottle, and he's just fucking just walking into the fucking water.
The dude who plays him, though, I can never think of his name, but
Jason Momoa.
He's a badass in general.
I love Ezra Miller as the Flash. I thought he was really funny. He brought a lot of humor to the Justice League.
He's kind of like the Spiderman of DC.
I love Ben Affleck as Batman. I think I told you guys this before. I think he's an amazing Batman.
Something's definitely bleeding.
I know, right? Cyborg was fucking cool. They took one of the most least liked character in the DC universe. Like, people like him, but he's kind of like on the bottom.
He's misunderstood.
And they made him a badass. I mean, they made him an important character. Like, things he did in this movie, like, made him a very important character on the team.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is a fucking just hot ass, badass bitch.
You see her butt quite a few times.
She's just, I love
the cheeks.
Wonder Woman. She's just so fucking badass. She's just so fucking cool.
She's just perfect.
And when Superman finally came back, I got chills. I just couldn't, like, when the Steppenwolf dude was just like kicking everybody's ass and Superman just shows up like nothing. like you guys still having trouble with this guy? And just kicks his ass. But Superman wasn't the one that technically defeated Steppenwolf. I like that. I like how the rest of the team took him down. They didn't have Superman just come in and snap his fingers and he was dead.
I want to know who wins, the Flash or Superman.
Yeah, and then like the post-credit scene where Superman and Flash race. I love it.
Because Flash gets unnerved by Superman because Superman keeps up with him, and it's awesome.
Another thing too, you guys, that I'm gonna tell you right now is why I didn't know this. I was watching the movie, and there's a lot of scenes with Batman and stuff that the music sounded like the 1989 Tim Burton Batman score. There's parts of it I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. And I come to find out, for one, Danny Elfman did the fucking music in this movie. Just blew my fucking mind because it didn't other than those parts, it didn't sound like a Danny Elfman score. You know, it didn't sound like it. It was something different, but he had tidbits of the '89 Batman score. And I find out at the end credit that was basically supposed to sound like that. It was even in the music at the end of the credits. It said 1989 Danny Elfman Batman theme. So it was actually in the fucking movie. Awesome. I just couldn't believe that. It was just fucking sweet. What a, like, you know, just a way to just pay homage to old school Tim Burton Batman. I was blown away. This was my favorite in the universe so far. I just loved how they brought Superman back. And how Superman got to fight them all, you know, all the rest of the Justice League before he realized who he was and whatever. But you guys, I went in thinking that this was going to be the lowest so far. I think so far in all my ratings, the lowest is a 7. I've given I can't remember which one I gave a 7.
He took me.
But
so.
I thought that this was going to be the lowest one. I thought it'd be like a 4 or 5 just based off of reviews and whatever. You guys, easily 10 out of 10. Didn't underutilize any character. Everybody got fair screen time and story time. It was just perfect. You guys, I loved it. That's all I'm going to say about this movie. I cannot wait to see more DC Universe movies. There you go. 10 out of 10. Justice League kicked fucking ass. We have one movie left. One movie left in this whole video. What's it going to be? Let's go watch it.
She was that easy.
All right, we are back at the Andover Cinema for the last time of 2017. To see the final movie from my top 10 most anticipated films of the year. Let's get in.
Anticipated film.
Okay, here we go. What movie we all seeing right now?
Chicken Wars.
Bam. All right, all 5 of us, we did this not last year, but 2 years ago for The Force Awakens. Who's all here? We got Jess, we got Sadie, we got me, we got Solomon, and we got... All right. May the Force be with us.
Oh, yes.
Let's go. All right, here we are in the theater. You ready? We're all here. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we just finished watching The Last Jedi. We're home now. The kids just ran in the house, so I'm going to give you my last and final review for the 10th movie of the year. And, I don't know, it was like any Star Wars movie, it was just mind-blowing.
It was amazing.
I mean, of course, like a lot of Star Wars movies, or like pretty much all Star Wars movies, it's always left with so many unanswered questions. And there's like a lot of things that happen in this movie that I don't quite understand. Star Wars, there's so much going on in Star Wars movies that I don't truly understand everything until I watch it 2 or 3 times. But obviously there's a lot going on in this movie and there's a lot to follow, but there's a lot of badass scenes and badass moments in this movie. And I don't know if it was quite as good as I had hoped for, but I mean, this movie was badass, but I was hoping it would be better. But it was still pretty damn cool. There was like I said, a couple things that didn't quite like explain well enough. Like, you know, I guess when Snoke got killed so quickly, and we still don't know a lot about him. Maybe they'll explain it more in the 9th one. But like, you know, he just got killed. Like, I thought he was just going to be like this huge finale guy, and like, you know, we don't even know who he is yet, really, and whatever. But so, I mean, a lot of unanswered questions, but it still had a lot of cool moments. But then again, like I said, it's the second one in a trilogy, so you don't really get all your questions answered until the 3rd one. I am definitely curious to know like what they're going to do with Princess Leia in the 9th one, considering that Carrie Fisher passed away. I'm sure they already got plans because, you know, they're obviously going to make it, but it's going to be interesting to find out how they work that in. I guess it was a pretty big moment. What happened with Luke at the end? I mean, we still don't know exactly. Like, it looks like he just
don't spoil.
Well, I mean, every one of our reviews have spoils, so people.
Yeah, but
I'll be giving
but-
spoil alerts so people know.
But this one, you're actually loading at the same time the movie just came out, so.
Well, I will set people up that there will be spoilers, but you know, like what happened to Luke at the end, you know, he basically just kind of died the same way Yoda and Obi-Wan did, you know, where he just disappeared and his clothes dropped. So I that was weird. I thought that if they were going to do something like that, I guess I assumed that they would do something like that, but I didn't see it happening until the 9th movie.
You know, I only have one question about that. Why, if they go to the Force without their clothes, why aren't they just naked in the Force then? Not that I want to see little Yoda naked butt, but...
Oh, speaking of which, that was definitely the coolest part of the movie, is Yoda, when he showed up. And what I liked the best about that scene is that he was Yoda from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. He was the goofy, funny Yoda. Like,
you see him like wiggling his little feet.
Because 1, 2, and 3, he was more serious, you know, and this one he's just kind of goofing around and stuff. And I thought that was an awesome scene. A lot of cool new characters in this movie.
I wanted those little penguin thingies.
Yeah, those little. You know where they're from? They're from that planet where Luke was. That's where they came from. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, and you missed that one scene. I think there's a scene where Chewbacca is, you know, on the planet with
the little things,
and he's sitting around a fire and he's getting ready to eat, and you could tell that he cooked one of those things, and he's getting ready to eat it, and one of them is looking at him like crying, and he wouldn't eat it. Like every time he went to take a bite,
he sees the little
one of those little things are going, like look at him, and Chewbacca's getting mad because he wants to eat it, and they're just looking at him going like crying, and I think eventually he never ate it. He just like threw it. But that was funny.
Poor Chewie. He seemed like he was kind of annoyed with them. Them together.
A lot of new characters. I'm really liking Poe. He's really cool. You know, his character, we got to see a lot more of his character in this one now, and I don't know, I'm really digging him. I'm really liking Finn. I like this new character of this new group of characters now in these new Star Wars movies. You know, I'm really digging them, and I'm really starting to. They're all really growing on me now, because we knew that there'd be a ton of new characters in this new trilogy, and in the first one, didn't quite know what to think of all of them now, but now they're growing on me and they're becoming part of the Star Wars family, and it's cool.
I find it intriguing that Kylo Ren's like, let the past die, but he's literally recreating the past.
I don't know what Kylo Ren's deal is. He's so up in the air right now. I mean,
I want to like
what
him.
he ends up doing could go either way.
I want to like him, but he's so angry. He's so full of hate right now.
Well, he's got he comes from a big family, you know, a lot of
who have a lot of trouble
shit.
with dealing with hate and fear.
He's a Skywalker, so you know, just like any other Skywalkers.
But he's also a Solo. So I would expect Hans to come out of him.
And that's, you know, another thing too is like, you know, with Rey, you know, they kind of touched a little bit on who her parents are.
But we don't know if that's the truth.
And we don't know if it's the truth or what. But you know, when Kylo Ren told her, you know, your parents were nobody. You just came from nothing or whatever. And
my theory on that, though.
I know that they're going to touch more on that.
You know what, though? Honestly, I think she is of the Force. Like, I don't think she actually has like parents, because when you think about it. When she's down in that, when she's with the dark side of the Force, and she's begging, please show me my parents.
There's a lot of rumors on the internet about Rey, but my guess is I'm really betting that Rey is going to end up being Rey's identity reveal is going to be like just as cool, or if not better, when we found out that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
And I don't think she's blood related to Kylo Ren, because they have like this kind of
I think
spark.
her identity is going to be even bigger than that. Like obviously, you know, people think she could be Luke's Kylo's sister.
No.
People think that she could be Luke's daughter.
No.
People think I mean, I even read something where they said that she could be Anakin Skywalker reincarnated. Like, I've heard like so many different rumors on who Rey is that I'm hoping and pretty sure that when they reveal it, it's going to be pretty big. I don't know, because
it seems like Kylo Ren's kind of like into her. Like I could see him.
They're connected in some way.
And I feel like it's more It's more of a like you're my light versus and you're my dark kind of thing. Like they balance each
Whatever
other.
it is, it's going to be pretty big. I know
yin
when
and
the time
yang
comes.
of the Force.
Well, there you go. Overall, I think it was a badass movie. I mean, all Star Wars movies are badass. I look at it with like one big long movie. You know, some parts are better than others, but it was still a pretty kick-ass movie. I think.
was happy.
I honestly, I think I liked it better than Force Awakens. You know, it definitely, I think, got better than Force Awakens. But I think overall, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie, I would say I'm going to give this movie 8 out of 10.
Ooh, that's a little bit. Okay.
I was leaning more towards a 7 because but
thought you were
then
gonna
again,
say
you have to
7.
understand with Star Wars, they do certain things like this in their movies
because
just
it's preparing.
you know, it's they have, you know, obviously so much more to tell, and I know that they held back a lot, but still there were some things I wanted from it.
Books.
But then again, you know, a lot of times the things that I don't get from a movie I end up getting in the next one. So either way, it was a badass movie. 8 out of 10. It was a lot of fun, and I cannot wait for part 9. Obviously, I'm just freaking out knowing that we have to wait like 2 years, but either way,
yeah,
it's gonna be badass. So 8 out of 10. What do you think?
I give it an 8 out of 10.
All right,
yeah,
pretty cool.
It was really good.
All right, well, there it is. My final movie of 2017.
Yay, we made it. We
Thanks
survived.
for watching.
We're back to present day. Well, there you have it, everybody. My 2017 movie theater experience, seeing my top 10 most anticipated films. Like I said, it was a blast putting together. I do apologize if in a lot of the reviews I rambled on a bit too much. I did edit it out a lot, believe it or not. There was just so much to talk about each movie, and it was hard to keep it short, even though that was my intention, but it didn't really work out that way. But wow, a lot of kick-ass movies that came out in 2017. And it's funny to think that a lot of these movies I already have sitting in my collection, and now after seeing them a few times, I think my opinions on the movies might have changed up a little bit. But it is weird to think about what the order was in which I was excited to see the movie, and maybe now what the order looks like, how I rate the movies. I'm going to go ahead and place a little list at the end of this video showing what the original top 10 list looked like and now what it looks like now as far as how I rate the movies. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how much it changed up. But there you go. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see me do this again next year, I'd be more than happy to. Just let me know down in the comments below. I'm definitely going to be doing another top 10 video of most anticipated films for 2018. And like I said, if you want to see this again for next year, let me know and I'd be more than happy to do that. So thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. I had an absolute blast. It was so much fun, not only making the video, but actually going out and seeing each movie this year. And if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Just hit that like button right down below. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys went and seen throughout the year. What was your favorite movie you've seen? And share the video around. Subscribe if you have not. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.